Hello and merry meet. I'm Rowan and today's Tuesday Tarot. So every Tuesday I am live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we do Tuesday Tarot. So we're doing 78 weeks of going through all of the tarot. We're still in the major arcana and we are on the 10th card, or the Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fate. Sometimes it's fate, sometimes it's fortune, depending upon the deck. So we are doing that tonight. Very exciting. So what happens for those that are new? This is a closed panel discussion, but we go over the tarot card and then we do one card readings for everybody. And so we'll give it just a second because Bren usually joins. And I'm just gonna, he may not be here yet. So I know I sent him a little invite. Oh, there he is. There's Bren.
Right on cue, or quay, or whatever the heck the word is.
It's time for Wheel of Fortune.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, in some decks it is Wheel of Fate. Actually, it's one of the decks I pulled, it is Wheel of the Year. But a lot of them, it's just the wheel. As I'm looking at all of them. So, this is a spiritual safe place. So we do ask that everybody is nice and kind to one another and shows love and understanding. We don't want any bullying or forcing your belief systems upon anybody else. So with that, we're going to jump into our 10th card. Well, actually 11 if you count the Fool was 0, but it is card number 10. So we are talking about the Wheel of Fortune card tonight. This is a fire card. The element is fire. And it is for our third eye. It's also the Sagittarius card. If you are looking at card meanings, the card meaning is, this is like fate, fortune, or karma. It also is changing the cycles of the year, the seasons. It can be good fortune. It can be bad luck. It could be bad fortune. So just really kind of depends. Bren and I really do more read intuitively. So with that, and then at the end, we'll talk about how you can use this in magic. And so I'll show some cards and Bren will also give some facts. So I'm going to show from the first deck. And this is the Italian Visconti Tarot. And again, this is a reproduction of the actual card. And on here, it is literally just the wheel. And it is very, very interesting. This one I think is so interesting because we have people and we see that the wheel is almost crushing one elderly gentleman there. And we have an angel figure in the middle, which is very interesting. I mean, it is very interesting. So this deck was actually done way back in like the 17th century. So it is very fascinating to see that. And then when we go to the Rider-Waite, how the interpretation has changed. So the Rider-Waite deck came out in 1906. There were some decks in between, not as many, but we do have some. And we have the symbolism of the 4 elements in the Wheel of Fortune card, even though this is considered a fire card, but we have all of the elements available. There's so much symbolism in this. We have the Kabbalah in here. We have Christianity, Judaism. We have Egyptian. Oh, what am I missing? This has like tons of symbology. It also has the 4 main archangels. So that's our 1906 Rider-Waite deck. All right, so one of my favorite decks, the Shadowscape deck. I love this. It looks like a stained glass. So it's almost, but it's interesting how it's depicted because it's not like it's on a building. We do see a bubble down here, and we see a plant growing. So we have all the elements in this card also, because we have the light, which would be the sun. We've got the tree here. We have this bubble that's almost like a water bubble. And we've got the air. We can see the air movement because of all of the motion going on this card. And a lot of it is like, there's like teeny, like, I don't know if you can see them, little teeny butterflies flying around. So this is the Wheel of Fortune card with the Shadowscapes deck. So, and then thank you, Brun, for reminding me of the Witch's Tarot, because I had been leaving it out, I think, for 2 weeks. But yes, I did grab it. This is the one that is the Wheel of the Year. So again, the theme of this deck is the Witch's Tarot. And so for this one, we see the symbolism for the 4 seasons. We have our pentacle on here in pentagram. We have the wheel, which represents all of our sabbats. So this one is completely different, but it does represent the Wheel of the Year. So this would be more of a seasonal card, but we can see the cycles. That's what's interesting, is even when we look at this one with all the Celtic nuts, it's still a wheel. We see the seasons. We don't necessarily see the seasons, but it is a wheel, and it does keep turning, and we still have 8 spokes. 8 spokes. Okay, the next deck is, I'm trying to look for my box. This is my Nightfall Tarot, and it has the Helm of Ah on here, our Nordic roots. And I love it how it looks 3D, like it will pop out at you. And we've got that lightning bolt. We have like water crashing. We have rain. We can see the wind. So we see all of the elements present. And we have that deep protection because of the way the wheel is represented. Okay, and this deck, the next deck I'm showing is the Tarot of the Sacred Kingdom. I like this one. This deck is just so, it casts that shadow and dark, and it's so mysterious. Okay, so this one, it almost reminds me of the Never-Ending Story when the little boy, and I'm forgetting his name now, when he comes up to the gates, but there's the 2 gates that look like sphinxes, right? So, but this one, it's like coming up to the wheel, and you can see there's a man walking. We have a door that is light, and there is this giant 8-spoked wheel. It's in a mountain. What is the wheel? What is the wheel going to tell? What is the future? What is your fate? So that one is a really cool card. And then finally, the last one is the Druid Craft Tarot deck. And we have a druid here actually drawing a wheel on the ground. So this one is very it's more, I think, more connects like with our Witch's Tarot. Because she's drawing the wheel on the ground. It is that connection with nature, and it's the connection with the cycles of the seasons and the growing. And that's what I love about this card. And this whole deck is that way also. But what is really cool is we do see, like, she's coming out of a cave. Here we've got going into the cave to get to the wheel. So it is really fascinating when we see the different cards and see the different symbolism. All right, Bren, your turn. Go ahead, talk about the wheel of fortune, the wheel of fate, or the fate card, or as the Wheel of the Year card is one of them. And it really does depend on the deck. And I don't remember which deck I have where it is called fate, but I have one that it is fate. So, all right, Bren, all yours. Oh, you're muted, honey.
I knew that, just testing you. So
I passed. Hey, yay!
So the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fate, the Wheel of the Year, the Wheel of the Seasons, what have you, they all share this theme of something that is always going to be going in a strict step-by-step cycle. So if the card comes up upright or reversed, it's still going to follow a cycle. no matter which way you're going. So it's a fixed way of progression, but then also regression. And it doesn't know how to go, let's say, if you were to have like the Wheel of Fortune come out in a reading, the intent is not going to be like wibbly wobbly. It's either going to go forward or you're going to be going backwards, because that's how the wheel spins.
Yeah, just like a clock.
Mm-hmm. And also, whenever the Wheel of Fortune does pop up, that does also indicate also time is somehow involved in some way, shape, or form. So without a further ado, I'm going to go start with probably one of my favorite depictions from the Tarot de la Nuit, which is, of course, French for Tarot of the Night, and this is how it's depicted. You have the three Fate sisters. You have the eldest, the middle, and then the youngest. And this depiction shows that essentially fate, regardless of age, is still going to progress. And as much as you want to get away from it and think you're going to be able to prolong it, eventually you will roll right into it. You've also noticed the red cord. In some, I believe it's Chinese or Japanese, one of the two, they have this belief of the red ribbon, or like the red cord. So this can probably even also show that somehow, some way, you're destined to find your red cord. Even if it doesn't last forever, that red cord will bring you and the other person together eventually, sometime. So that's Tarot de la Nuit. Next we'll go with the Definitely Not Tim Burton Tarot, and here's how it is. This depiction you have of what looks like a hooded woman figure about to pull the slot machine thing in the background. Then you have this other little bit of a obtuse little one sitting on a stool going, "Oh, what am I going to win?" And then you notice at the top is the devil at the top. And there's two fishes going upward. So this Wheel of Fortune is more kind of giving the vibe of being more cautious of doing anything that is risky. Like if you're going to gamble, be very careful not to get intoxicated by it, because that's the symbolism of Pisces. There's two fish in there. So don't get intoxicated, because you'll get possessed by that thing at the top. You become not only losing all your money, you'll become blinded by it, and you'll turn into that little thing. My money's gone. So don't get intoxicated by chancing things and leaving it to luck too much. Now from the Gustave Dior Tarot, here's how it's depicted. It's just the wheel. Now this one, very different. Probably thinking, but where's the wheel part? If you really look, you can kind of see the wheel in the center. And how she's drawing the wheel out, the circle out. Or maybe she's because she does appear to be like a beggar figure, she's going and reaching for those 2 coins on there, and this other figure that's standing there is sitting on the edge of the boat. It's not paying attention. And she's going to go, yo! That's the Wheel of Fortune. Luck's progressing. But if it's like this way, then the luck's going to be thinking that, oh, I'm going to steal this. Nope, busted. Now this one is from the Louis de Scott Tarot. Here's how it's depicted. Now this depiction, you're probably thinking like, this one seems kind of depressing. Because, I mean, you see the woman figure in the front and she's like going, oh no, I lost it. But then you see a figure standing at the top, coming through like a portal. So maybe, she was mourning the loss.
Stargate.
Huh?
Reminds me of Stargate.
Welcome to welcome to the end.
Going to another world.
Look.
Sorry, I know.
I mean, that was perfect though, because it does have that energy and vibe. But if you notice how there's the figure at the top, and maybe she's mourning the loss of that figure, and then fate's coming back around and be like, well, he's right here. Let's see, I've done that one. Okay, the next one is going to be from the Incubus Tarot, and here's how it's depicted. Notice that there's a snake figure on the left side. Then we have some pigeons down at the bottom. Like, okay, we got pigeons there. Then we have a King Tut figure in the top middle. So this one's a bit, and also it's surrounded by bats. So possibly this could be an indication that maybe be aware of how things progress and be aware of a figure trying to be authoritative and trying to be a snake and trying to distract you with peasantry kind of a way of speaking. And also it might suck your energy if you're not careful with your fortune or luck with this. That's that one. This is I didn't do this one. This is from the Universal Celtic Tarot, and here's how it's depicted. You see the woman figure expecting, and then you see her sitting in the center, and then nature's coming all around her like, oh, you're having a child come in? Let's see. So this is really coming in to tune with nature and understanding those Sabbath cycles, and also showing how at any time of the year life can come in, but then at the same time also life can exit. So then we need, let's see, we need this one, that one, and then this one. Okay. This one is from the Tarot V, and here's how it's depicted. Up here.
That one's cool.
If you notice, you see a figure of a woman facing 3 directions, and if you're thinking Hecate, yes, you're correct. And if you also notice down here below, there is a musical note. That makes you think. Because this depiction is starting to really think of 3 different ways to move your fortune forward by music, or allow sound to be what moves your fortune forward. So you can see how big vast of a difference that just put onto it. Then we have 3 left. This is from the Definitely Not Walking Dead Tarot, and this is how it's depicted. You see the clock at the top, then you see the male figure and then the young child. He's walking over just like, oh, wait, by the way, it's like, oh, I can't believe I got you back. How come everything's gone? Well, that's the cycle of life in the top. Don't ever run away again. What's that over there? No.
Yes. You're gonna hold my hand, young one.
Now here is from the Ghost Tarot.
That's a fun deck. I have that deck.
Now this depiction, you actually have the 4 elements in there with the wheel. And it's actually going through a mill, because that's water down below. So you have the 4 elements. The red is the fire, the light blue is the water, and the green is earth, and the yellow is air. So either way, depending on how this one goes, it can show either, like if you're doing this for using this card for spellcraft, this can show either an increase of a certain element if you're wanting to like have a position in a certain way to show if an element's going to be going increasing in strength or weakening. So for an example, say if you want to increase, let's say, the fire element. So where you stand right here, you would want to have it go in a direction. See if I can get this to face the right way. You wanted to have it be facing kind of downward like this, so that way the energy of the fire is starting to go up. Because the way that the wheel works is that if you're going up, you're gaining, but as soon as you get to the top, you got to come down sometime, and then it goes back up again. Then last but not least, from the Path of Horror Tarot, we have the Wheel of Fate looking like this. Like, it's a hot mess in there.
Chaos.
Yep, and then even you also notice that there's looks like a composing figure, just like lifting his hands up, just like, okay, I'm signaling you, come on, hit that note. Raise it up. Yeah, try to give you that vibe of it. So as you can see, the Wheel of Fate, while some have a different way of the wheel being depicted somehow, but also like how it was in the Gustave Dior Tarot, it does show like fortune either having the opportunity to go up or opportunity to go face plant. So yeah. Now, again, depending on the depiction of the deck, you can have, like what I was showing with the Ghost Tarot, you can have a figure, you can have this be like something that you want to increase the energy of. So say for an example, if you want to increase, again, the fire element, you would want to have it be facing down going that way. But if you want to have it be the air element or the water element, you would want to have it facing this way. Because now it has to go up that way. It has to go that way. Earth is the same way. It goes alley up. Then same way with that way, it'll go alley up. And so on and so forth. But if you want to have it go the other way, so now say we want to have the fire energy decrease. So you would probably have it be laying over this way, because now it's being forced to go down that way. So that's a really unique way. And I would even consider the Wheel of Fortune actually to be an ether card, because it's right in the center and it's something that you can't get away from. All the elements have to succumb to the wheel structure. And like how in Vedic astrology you have, when you do compatibility, you have the 4 elements and then you have ether. Each element is able to be more in line or more opposed, while you have the ether element, which is something that all the other elements have to rely on. So with the Wheel of Fortune, again, depending on how you're having it depicted, like this one for an example, if you're wanting to have some kind of gambling that has this awareness of not getting over the top intoxicated with it, you can use this card as a means to having that discipline structured when it comes to chance and luck. If you want to, let's see here. Oh boy, well this one might be painful, but who cares? We'll go with it. If you're wanting to have a specific kind of love work that wants to have fate favor it, you can use this depiction, having the 3 fates, and then with the red string, you just make it. You could just declare whomever you want to have this string be attached to, and voila, and attach it to yourself. Then that'll bring both of you together. Like I said, what is deemed good, what is deemed you can, what you deem you can't, I got none of that. I got nothing. So do it with thy will, just be prepared if whatever comes and hits you in the face. Then this depiction, you could use it for like having reconciliation or having something return by like the chance of fate. It just comes back out of nowhere like, oh, you're back. Yeah, it seems like fate has foretold this. But the same thing applies to if you're wanting to go in, like if you're having the wheel go in reverse, that can show that you can have somebody's gain go backwards. And if you're wanting to, and if you're also, well actually here's a good idea. Say if somebody owes you money at all, some way. Where the heck did that depiction go? Well, if somebody owes you money, you can actually have the Wheel of Fortune be as the petition paper underneath like a candle that's on top of that person, and then you have them going face first into that card, and it's reversed. Now their fortune is going to go backwards because they owe you money. Whatever they gain, it's going to go back to you, and that's really clever. Wow, I wasn't even thinking about that. Wow, that's clever.
Yes, it is. Well, and even like, I'm just going to show a couple that, like, even with this card, you could use it for protection. And it can be protection from bad luck or protection from bad fortune.
Yep.
Here, like, I feel this card is more for growth. So if you want to grow, or if you don't want to grow, or again, somebody said they don't grow. We can stunt growth. We can, so, and again, we don't judge. So whether you do spells positive, harming none, or whether you don't believe that, I mean, it's fine. This is a spiritual safe place. So,
as I always say,
that is the Wheel of Fortune.
As I always say, do it with thy will, but just be prepared to accept whatever comes and hits you in the face. Be it good or bad.
Yep.
And you have to accept it because you put it out, so incoming, whatever hits you.
Yes. Yes, we are, Kaza, we're really close to doing one card reading, so please feel free. We're just wrapping up the Wheel of Fortune. So for those just joining, if you've never joined us before, we are doing 78 weeks of going over each tarot card. And then when we're done with that, we do one card readings on Tuesdays. And so think of your questions. We do go in order and we stay on live as long as we have questions coming. And before we do that, I do want to thank everybody for the hearts. And let's see if we can get above 10,000, because last week we got 10,000 hearts. And for those that have already donated, thank you so much for the donations, gifts. We really appreciate it. Never expected. Anything else, Bren, that you want to add on the Wheel of Fortune or the Wheel of Fate?
And I would also have to say, of all the cards, the Wheel of Fortune cards is probably, if not one of the most fixed cards of the whole deck. Because it's fixed. Because it either goes forward or goes backwards. That's all it does. Because you can't make a wheel do anything else except roll forward backwards. I mean, you can try to make it roll sideways, but it'll eventually just go that way.
It will need help. So, yes, and I mean, so it is a movement. So it is a movement card, but yes, it is. It is. It's a very fixed movement card.
Oh wow!
So okay, we did have somebody who wants a reading. All right, we're just going to finish up here, so you can type your question or type.
Yeah, but one last. This is from Tarot Apocalypse. Tarot Apocalypse.
Okay.
This is showing Demeter, and she's just like, "Oh, Persephone, where the heck did you go?" Little does she know she's in Hades.
Yes.
But okay, now they're ready to fly, or whatever the heck we do on a Tuesday evening.
So, Kaza, you want to know what your future is going to be like? Is that what your question is? So we will start readings. So please don't forget to share and give us hearts. Please give us lots of hearts. Okay, so yes, she wants to know what her future is going to be. All right, I think it's supposed to be this deck. I did not even grab a Lenormand deck. Oh, I was not inspired today to grab one. So Kaza, we're going to do a reading. You want to know what your future is going to hold. So keep in mind as we are shuffling, your future is not set in stone. So the card that we get can change. And like if you stay on the path you're on right now, what we pull is what your future will be. But if you just change one little thing, your future is going to change. So that's one thing to keep in mind with future readings. Bren, anything else you might want to add about a future reading?
Well, with the future, well, just so that, like what was said, the future can change depending on what choices you do. So what gets pulled is only showing what is potentially the most likely thing to happen that's going to be within the future. Most likely to happen if you keep the same focus or if you stay with the same intention that you're going forward with.
And this card fell out, and I got the Two of Swords. You feel like you're in the dark, like you don't know what's going on. And it really is a choice. And you have like the right or the left, or day or night. Like you have that choice to make. You're not, like, this one's just really not sure, but we're going to see what Bren's card says, and this one fell out. So it's just really saying you have a choice that's coming up, and you're not sure what that choice is, like which one to pick. That's where I'm getting.
I chose an Oracle, and then I also chose one from the Tarot Vampire. So the Mausolea Oracle of Souls that came out is Lilith. And the words on here are hunger, animalism, and instinct. So the theme of well, for her, even though I don't like saying animalism because that's just, but in this case is that something that there's something that is telling you that the suppression of hunger or instinct that you're wanting to let out, that's what's being restricted. because of something pertaining to justice. And this depiction, you have a woman figure, and this is also a card of Libra, and also the Two of Swords is a card of Libra too. It's specifically Moon in Libra, specifically. So in this, you have the overall theme of Libra at play for the Moon, and then also for the natural card of Libra. So what this is that instead of focusing more on the physical, hungering, and instinct, you trust within and use the intuitive side and seek out what can feed the hunger for the intuition. So in the future, you might be put into a situation where you might be blocked physically, and that's when you have to now use your intuition and then feed that intuitive ability to then be able to help you get past whatever is holding you back. And also be on the lookout. I'd also say be on the lookout whenever it's a dark moon, a new moon. That's when you got to stay the most focused.
Yeah, we just had one. Yeah. It's, like with this, it's blindfolded. And so when we're blindfolded, we do have to use our other senses, and we do have to use our intuition. That's like a big one that we always have to use when we are blindfolded, when we can't see.
So definitely you may have to rely on your intuition in the future, most likely. Because there might be a circumstance where you won't be able to see, like actually see the best outcome. So you have to trust your gut and intuitive more than what you're seeing in front of you.
Which it also, with that in mind, it can also be something very personal, not like, oh, should I pick the red car or the blue car?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is something that is more personal to you. Like, do I stay in a relationship? Do I not?
Mm-hmm.
So it's something more intimate versus something more superficial.
Yeah, but since it is also Lilith was drawn, that can also be an indication where you may have to really understand that your authenticity is something you can't negotiate or barter with. And you have to keep sight and a hold of it. Because with the Two of Swords, usually how it's depicted, you have a figure going like this. And they're keeping it close to themselves. They're holding the two swords like this. So that's definitely a sign of like, keep your authenticity and trust your intuition and let that guide you which route to go and which way to poke at.
Yeah.
So trust your gut.
Very beautiful reading. All right, Kaza, thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. And we are here every Tuesday doing readings. I know we have a couple new people and I know we have a couple of our beautiful repeaters. Hi, Tina. Welcome. We are doing one card reading. So if you would like a reading tonight, you can type your question or you can type general and we'll do a general reading for you. And we're ready to go. We'll stay live as long as we have readings coming.
And I don't know
if you do have open.
Oh, Tina wants a general. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm supposed to do this deck for Tina. Ooh, congratulations, Tina. You are. We'll just add a little. You're a level 12 fan. Thank you, Tina. As we pull a general for you.
All right, then.
Oh, your card came out. Go for it, Bren. Start.
I'm going to pull one more. If I can get a grip of this thing. These things big.
Wow. Ooh, I love the two that I got. So I got two for you, Tina. Two fell when I grabbed the cards to put them in my hands. So and Brent's pulling another one. But since his first pull does need to go first, and we'll see. I'm excited. The cards I got, I'm very excited for you.
Well, here we go with this. So the first card to come out is Now Again. You have to keep this in mind. This is from the Goetia Tyrone Darkness. So the way that this deck, I'm reading it, is completely different than what you would normally read it, because this deck is pretty advanced. And of course, the Diablo Tarot. So, first card to come out is the Devil. Now you're probably thinking, oh no! No. Because if you notice with this depiction, you have Lucifer right there, right in the middle. And then if you take a look down here, you have Venus in Capricorn. Specifically at the 13th degree of Capricorn. And that 13th degree is significant. And then the other card, well, look at this. Oh, look, it's the Wheel of Fate. Go figure. Now, to explain why Venus in Capricorn in that degree. So Venus in Capricorn at that degree, that is Venus in Abhijit Nakshatra and also in Shravana. Shravana is your ear. And Abhijit, which is the last degree behind Shravana, that same degree that I mentioned, 13, that is the ending of the victorious one. So this is showing that the victory that you're going to be obtaining is going to be through listening in a way that you'll be able to bring life to people by just listening to them and preserving what they're telling you. But then also, since this is also Lucifer, and I careth I have none, I go all in and say, well, Lucifer is probably the one that bestows enlightenment, because Venus is a guru. In the Vedic texts, Venus is acknowledged as the guru to the demons. Funny. Hysterical, look at that. But it's also the guru to the asuras, which are human beings. So this, tied with the Wheel of Fortune, you put this together, well, all I can say is that your fortune is going to be moving forward, and your skill to be able to be this figure that's able to preserve knowledge, but then at the same time, by preserving that, you're making legacy stay and become more stronger. You're making somebody else's legacy remain and not be lost. And whenever you do that, because of how Abhijit is, you're promised assured victory in it. If you just listen and preserve. If it's anything related to legacy, and then I'll have the fortune of everything move forward. Whoa!
And then the card, so when I pulled, two cards came out. And the first one, sorry, I got such a great shadow there, it's not fun. It's a woman, and she's got huge antlers, and they remind me more of elk antlers than deer antlers, but it's the rewild your life. It's that connect with nature. But what's really fascinating is that Lucifer is always typically depicted with horns. And he was actually, when Christianity swept through Europe, they took the horned gods and made the horned gods into Lucifer. Also keep in mind, Lucifer didn't want to he just wanted God to pat him on the back and say, hey, good job, son, instead of I did this for you. But yes, we have see, all the horns are going through there. And let's see, you just got deer and lion the other day. Yeah, see how yes, there's a message. And keep in mind, whether it's a deer or an elk, they are very agile animals. They can do anything. It's amazing. I don't know if you've ever seen, in order to keep deer out of a garden, you have to have almost a 10-foot fence, because they can jump over fences. Mm-hmm. They're so good. They're so agile and able to move. It's the same thing with elk, even when they have these giant horns on their head. But it's just saying, Connect with nature, connect with yourself, connect with the seasons, especially because this is literally the card after the wheel card. It's showing you that you need to connect with those cycles. And then the second card that came was unmask your darkness. You have something so beautiful that you have been hiding. It is part of your authentic self, and it is absolutely beautiful and needs to come out.
And I will say, and I will say this also, like that one card there where it shows, it looks like at the bottom looks like a quill pen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, now keep that thought, hold that note, because I know for a fact in Lucifer's card, as I just put it away like a doofus, if you notice, look at this. I can't make this up. Look what's in his hand. Like right.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's beautiful. The message is forgiveness. Yes, this can.
He's holding. There it is. Now I got it there. He's holding that quill pen right there.
Yep.
And that's funny because it's shaped like a quill. And funny enough, Lucifer, being the light bringer, he's the one who bestows enlightenment. So, and Venus does have that ability where it's blind in one eye. So it can see beyond the physical, and it can see through things.
The second card was, it's unmask your darkness. So it's literally what we do is when something happens to us, or like, let's say in school, like you wear all black and they're like, you're goth, and you get teased, right? And so then you start wearing bright colors and you hide like that part of you, right? That's probably not the best example. Like people will tease you maybe if you are kind to people who are different. There we go. That's like a better thing. And because that happens all the time. I don't care who it is. Like you can see it anywhere. So, and you hide that part of you into your shadow. And that's what you need to unmask.
Mm-hmm.
And that's literally what your message is. It's, you have this agile, beautiful part of yourself that's authentic that you've kind of kept hidden down. And it's probably from something when you were like maybe in junior high or elementary school, or maybe younger than that. And you've just kept it hidden because maybe people were teasing or critical of you, or they said, no, we shouldn't do that. So it is letting it out. And the situation that caused it to be hidden, we have to let that go, like forgiveness, let it go and let it out, which is typically what happens. And a lot of times, it is shadow season, but this is a very fascinating card that came out because it's just saying you have this beautiful, beautiful gift, this beautiful talent that's hidden. So that is going to be intense. And yes, and it is. And when the time comes, we know, and it's time to just let it go.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really advise people to do, whenever they have somebody like getting on them or like trying to like bring them down, if anything, at least how I like to tell people how to respond to that, just tell them, I'm just going to do it louder. Oh, that bothers you? Oh, well, that sucks. Get over it. I'm going to be myself. If you can't handle that, well, that's not my problem. Oh, that's harsh. That's the point. Well, when somebody says something stupid like that, well, they get, the back of them.
And we do it a lot. Like, it happens so much. Like, I'm just going to give an example. I worked one place, and a woman, I knit. I love knitting. I absolutely love it. I have been knitting for since I was in my late 20s. And somebody's like, oh, you're like an old lady. Well, I really took it offensively, and I didn't take knitting to work anymore after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know what? Look at how beautiful it is. Like, seriously, that's a gift, that's a talent. And I let somebody make fun of me, and I took it to heart, and then was like, oh, well, I'll only knit at home. You know what? Who cares how old I am?
Yeah. And I've had I've had, that same thing, like being told like an old man or whatever, and I just told him, well, they say about an old man, he has wisdom. It's better to be young and dumb. So, oh,
You know what, Tina? I'm a quilter too, actually. Yes, and I have, surprisingly enough, actually, I can like flip my camera real quick. Um, there we go. There we go. See, I got quilting stuff. So there you go. There's my sewing machine.
and I mean, if you want to be technical, if somebody is making fun of you doing quilting, I mean, at the same time, that's when you just tell them, so you're calling Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana old? Because in order for them to do any of like the fashion, they have to quilt, they have to sew. So it's just like,
Yes.
careful.
Yes. And a lot of times it's self-confidence too, because when that person had told me that, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. Now I just kind of look at somebody and laugh and be like, yeah, have fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I go places. I mean, I have huge bags, quilted bags, and I have people ask me all the time, where'd you get that? I'm like, yes.
I sewed it.
Exactly. It's like, it's my secret talent. I guess it's not so secret for people who know me, or it's not so secret anymore because I'm telling everybody. But hopefully that helps, Tina. And I love that you quilt too. And we are doing this. This is Tuesday Tarot, so we are. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. We are doing one card reading. So if you would like a reading, you can type general or you can type a specific question. We will answer for you. We also do private readings. So if like you resonate with Brent and you want him to do a full reading for you, or if I resonate with you, you are welcome to reach out to us. You can actually go to our bios and click Brent's got a link tree. I've got mine's bio.site. And it will take you to where you need to go to request a full reading, because we both do full reading. So that's always fun. And my classes are also listed. And I think, Brent has a lot of information on his. Because I did when I ordered my book. So.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, I'm actually in the process of writing my next book, too. Let me just show you what the cover looks like.
Brent always spoils us.
And I have posted it for. Well, here, let me flip myself so I can get out of there. No.
There we go. Ooh, fun. That's a really beautiful. I love peacocks too. That'll be cool.
And actually, this is kind of like an exclusive behind the scenes, because this was the first. I mean, this is the one I'm going to go with, but this was an alternative depiction that I was thinking about. This is the alternative one I had in mind. But I'm thinking that, nah, I like the other one.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cover.
Did you see the other one I put up?
Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I was answering Tina.
So here.
Ooh, I like the one with the peacock in her arm though. Yeah, I do like that one better.
Yeah, because this one, I mean, that would have been really good for like saying, and another alternative one for like Nyx, because of just how the headset is and how the peacock is. But this one, I mean, come on. And I mean, just like with the Jezebel book, but then even though I didn't really include as many references to Nyx, I believe, not really that much. But for this one, I'm planning on trying to bring in as many references and quotes, and just making sure everything that I can get my hands on gets put into this book for the mythological references. So that way it's all like everything, one spot. And then just like with Nix's book, that's going to be this Sunday. It's going to be in depth, and then when going through it, each passage will get dissected, and then we can really draw out these goddesses' character and how they were in the mythology, and thus we can kind of reason their demeanor and how they interact with us, all together. But this one, probably of all of them, might be so far the only, I guess, I don't know if you would consider Hera more of a lighter goddess, because I know Lilith is a dark goddess, Hel's a dark goddess, Nyx is a dark goddess. Jezebel, by technicality, isn't a goddess, but however, I would consider her, screw it. I consider her like a heroic figure or like a legendary figure, which you can use that for like magical workings, equal to like that of bringing in the saint. It's the same thing. So yeah. And then let's see who wants for Trinity Grace.
Trinity Grace. Yep,
okay.
Trinity Grace. Yep. So we're gonna pull a general for Trinity Grace. Ooh. We already got her card, and we got the world. And what is really neat about this version of the world card is you see there's this beautiful woman, and she's holding the world in her hand. And she has these red ribbons, and it's the only red on the whole card that are like tied around her arm. And her hair is really flowing. You see it flowing in the wind. So we see this as a movement card, but we also have the moon up here. And so we can see it almost looks like daylight down in part of the card and evening through the trees. So it literally is showing how it's showing the world clock in quite a different way. It's like in one place it's daylight, in another place it's night. So with this said though, she has all these opportunities literally in her hand. And it's just a matter of embracing those opportunities. And she's got a gift, and she's got a talent, and she knows what it is. She might be holding back, again, for like whatever reason, she might be holding something back. But she can just open her hands and let that go. And she can apply that to her everyday life, really is what I'm getting from this card. And we'll see what card friend came up with.
Up you got the Eight of Pentacles. This depiction, you have a woman, food, phone. She's actually stitching together, it looks like a blanket. And she's sewing in pentacles into it. So she's sewing wealth into this thing of comfort. And it's funny because it looks like they're facing the same way.
Yes, they are facing the same way.
And funny enough, there's a figure back there, like a shadow. And then there's also a cat. It looks like a calico down there.
Oh, it's cute.
Mm-hmm. But then, the other card that I drew alongside this
is that talent, though, because she's sewing. It doesn't mean that she necessarily needs to sew, but it shows that there's that talent there. And that talent is what's going to carry her through the world.
And the other card is the Golden Empress. And the words for her is potency, confidence, and magnetism. And if you also notice in the background, you can see the wheel behind her. Which is funny because look what shape the pentacle's at.
It is a wheel, and on the world we have
the sun and the
The
moon.
world in her hand, the sun and the moon. We have three wheels there, basically. Three
Well, funny,
circles.
and I mean, wow, because that one has like the moon, this one has the sun, and if you notice, they both come together. The feminine, yep.
And the masculine. Yep.
But I mean, so definitely, whatever you're wanting to create, weave it together with all of your confidence. Make
Yes.
that become something that you create that pulls people's attention and make it potent. Because the way whatever you make does have that potency because it came from your hands. And if something comes from your hands, that makes it extra valuable. Because there's nothing ever exactly the same like it.
Yeah. Kept on turning. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Everything always falls together. Always, always. So, welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday Tarot. I know we have new people coming and going. If you would like a reading, please feel free. We will stay live as long as we have questions coming in. If you would like a reading, you can type general or a specific question, and we will pull cards for you. And then just as a reminder, we kind of briefly talked about it. We will be on Thursday at 9:30 spiritual panel. It is an open panel, and we are going to be talking about the zodiac sign of Cancer. And then Sunday is Witchy Book Club, and we will be reading Friend's book on the goddess Nyx. So very, very exciting. Again, that's 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Tina, for the gift. Always appreciated. Never accepted. Yes, always exciting here. We're always fun here. And sometimes I randomly will go live when I'm on my hikes or walks. Actually, I think I can call them hikes now because I literally am going up and down hills. So I'm not on the flatlands of the Midwest anymore. Speaking of the Midwest, it looks like Azriel has come.
He hath arrived.
Welcome, welcome, Azriel. Ooh, look, he's got a party going on.
What's going on over there?
You're muted. You got this great party and you're muted.
Nothing. I was about to do some stuff, but it's Wheel of Fortune night. You guys are discussing
Yes.
Wheel of Fortune. It's a pleasure. I love the Wheel of Fortune. That's one of my favorite. Look at Brent. It's one of my. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite tarot cards. I was gonna play some music here. For you.
Yes, we're just partying. Everybody feel
So.
through.
So Wheel of Fortune, it's one of my favorite cards because, it's one of those cards, depending on the adjoining cards, it's telling you to go for what you know. Life is all about taking the risk, taking the chances, and one doesn't know, one doesn't know, what's in line up for them. But it's an honor to be here. I'm gonna listen in. I'm gonna. Yeah. See, I was doing this. See, I got.
You're doing your tunes.
Yeah. Well, I just got home. I was doing. I woke up at, early in the morning, but I'm gonna turn off my hair. So that way, hold on. So yeah, so I worked. I did my work, and then I came home. I said, you know what? I took a nap, and then I went to do some laundry, and then I just got home just right now, so I didn't have no time to cook. So I went to Jules. Jules always got good deals on some of the stuff that's pre-cooked, and I bought a bucket of chicken for $9.99, 3 pounds of chicken wings. So
I think Tuesday is their chicken special, if I'm remembering.
yes, Yes. Well, Monday's the chicken special, and it's cheap chicken Monday. And on Tuesday they have different specials. But I bought almost a 3 pound bucket of chicken wings for $9.99. You can't beat that, But I guess that was me testing my wheel of fortune. So I don't want to take too much, off the live. I'm not as sure how it's going, but I did see Tina down there in the comments. Hello, Tina. And it's an honor to see you and Brent here. And I can't wait for this weekend. I'm not sure if you guys mentioned we're going to be doing Nick's Brent's book.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And well, I mean, now I got to put the other background up to show Adriel the next book I'm working on. Give it a second. Let me get out of the way.
Queen. Oh, okay. Queen Hera. I love that cover. That's beautiful. Creative.
Yes, and usually people get a little bit they get confused. Like, wait a minute, you work with Hera? You've worked with her? Huh? Really? How? Well, what does she have dominion over? Commitment, marriage, unionship, and keeping that vow honored.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at how well, yeah.
And I mean, you have to admit though, of like her getting upset because her marriage got violated. I'm gonna just say this: when you have every being except one sea nymph at that wedding, at that what's it called, wedding reception, seeing them get wedded in the aftermath, there's no excuse when you could have gone, Your Majesty, your husband is trying to be a two-timer, he's chasing after me. But none of them did it. So, I mean, when she made that promise to Zeus that she would never do anything back in retaliation to him, and he took advantage of that, well, her going after whoever went with Zeus, it's justified. They were there, they were aware of it, so there's no excuse. So, just saying, she's not jealous. In fact, she's defending her vow and her commitment. So, and that's what she's all about. Not jealous, and not like, oh, she's just envious because Zeus got attention. No.
Makes sense. In a relationship, it's usually both need to play their part and put the fight in there. But as long as somebody's putting in the fight, the relationship is worthwhile, worth it to commit yourself and do anything by necessary, except do some stuff nowadays whatever we have laws. But what I'm saying is that it's like telling anybody, that's fire. Don't touch fire. Fire is going to burn you. And at that point, she addressed the consequences, and the consequences are put in out there. So everybody's aware at that time, or anybody in that specific area, they knew the consequences. So that makes sense. It really makes sense, and it's with anything in life. We have consequences, and we have some positive consequences. Everything is, let's call it action. Because the law of order and opportunity is karma. and and we all have to know. There's one way or another, and I love that book cover and the topic, and thank you for sharing that with us, and looking forward to seeing your writing on that one.
And Tina asked, are we Hera? Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. If you want to see Hera, well, here she is.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yep. Here's her Majesty herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's funny that you said the bride of Christ, because Hera actually turns the other cheek. I mean, she really does. She shows you, take the higher road. It's not worth it to be vengeful because of something bad that happens to you. Take the higher road.
Yeah, and even in the mythology too, whenever she couldn't go after them, for example, the best example was that when Heracles was born, she hated him because she was seeing him as essentially an offspring that didn't come from her. So it was a violation of her unionship. So she did everything she could to take him out. And the same thing goes for Apollo and Athena. Despite you know, I can't remember exactly, I think she turned her into Lamia, I think. But she also has another detestment towards Athena. Because when Zeus got caught, he swallowed Athena's mother.
Yes.
Yep, and then Athena came out of his forehead. And because of that, Hera's like, she doesn't like Athena either. But what's interesting, speaking of Athena lacks that feminine, intuitive, motherly nature. Because if you notice with her, she's all about strictly business and strategy. She's very intelligent in matters of, like, say, the masculine themed form of, like, say, what the masculine usually did in ancient Greeks and whatnot. So she has intelligence, which is a feminine trait. Intelligence comes from feminine, is a feminine element. Same thing with intuition, but she doesn't have that motherly connection because she only came from Zeus's head. Which is very, very interesting when you look at it that way. Because when you look at the tale of Arachne and Medusa, especially Medusa, when Medusa was crying out needing Athena's aid, she didn't respond because she didn't respond to that emotional, like she didn't have that emotional intelligence to respond. Yeah. But then when Medusa got violated, she wasn't even thinking about being like putting herself in Medusa's shoes. She was like, you violated us, so you get cursed. Or you want to make sure that you never get violated again? Okay, here you go. Lacking that emotional intelligence to realize that her devoted priestess was violated in her temple by Poseidon. So she lacks that emotional intelligence, but she is very intelligent in that regard. So that's Her Majesty. And I think my arm's starting to get really tired holding her. I think that's her saying, like, put me down, swine. Release me at once. Put me back on my throne. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Our statues like to be shown off, but they also like to be in their special places too. So, yes. So we have lots of fun. So yeah, anytime you want to check out Bren's books, they are in his link tree in his bio. So make sure you're following Bren and Azrael and myself. Yes, that masculine energy comes in sometimes. So.
Don't forget that Brent also has a lot of tarot and I think some a couple oracle cards that he designed as well. He released them.
They're very beautiful. Very, 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 very beautiful. They're on my need to get next list. So it is Tuesday Tarot. We are at 4,000 hearts. So please feel free. We'd love more. We had 10,000 last week. We'd love 10,000 this week. Thank you so much for the gifts. Always appreciated, never expected. If you would like a one-card reading, we are pulling readings. So you can type general or you can type a specific question and we will answer for you. And we're going to stay live as long as we have questions coming in. I'm sure at some point we'll be live like all night long, but right now it's just, as long as we are here.
All night long. All night long. Now, my friend, the time has come. I forget, let the music play on. I got to find the lyrics to that.
Well, I know Richie was the best. I don't know if he's still singing. My husband and I, we were talking about singers that are still singing and some who are like probably should have retired already. Lose yourself in fire.
I seen him in a award show, but he's up there, with makeup and everything, because well aged. But you know what? He did have a beautiful career. His music, I loved his music. We're going to party, club, fiesta forever, and sing along all night long. All night long, yeah. But yeah, this Wheel of Fortune, I think, Brent hasn't been there, and the many of the individuals, but the Forest Home cemetery, that's the one that's over here. Remember the Forest Home? I definitely believe where the Druid is actually the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. I definitely believe, I still,
Yes.
the more and more that I think about, because if you look at the original card, the tarot card, where you have the Sphinx up there with the sword and so forth, I think that Sphinx is the representation of the Druid up there. The Druid up there. We don't have images here to show. We're not prepared for this. This is random. But I think the representation of
Yeah,
that is
I
when
don't
you
know.
look at the pardon. So
I
when
was
you
gonna
look
say I
at
don't think I have any on my phone.
so when the Druid is facing eastbound, and the Sphinx is on top of the Wheel of Fortune card, which I think the way that the Druid is facing east represents the top of the tarot card. So when you look at the tarot card and you have the Sphinx on top of it, that's how we're looking at that cemetery and the layout. And that circle around it, it's in that tarot card in the smack middle of it. I didn't want to say the unalive middle, the smack middle, unalive smack middle of it. And then you have the secondary. So you have the center, and the center is where the Druid would be. But in the card's representation is showing you that it's facing east. So that's the way. Yes. Okay. So you see the Sphinx up there. That's the Druid, and the Druid is actually showing you which way he's facing, and he's facing east. So if you turn the car around clockwise, which would be that way, all right. Yes. So the T is that way. And remember, when you're facing it that way, he's facing south now, and that's northbound. That's where the train station and everything is at. No, no,
Yeah.
no, right there. That's where the train station is. So basically, it's telling you to go clockwise, and see the pyramid that's there. We got those pyramids that are in that card. Under the A, you got the pyramid, and that pyramid is what's on that monument, which is the upside down, the Order of the Eastern Star. That, remember, the All Seeing Eye on that monument. It's there in this symbol, exactly right there, and it's showing you. And basically, those things that are around. See, I don't know if I have it myself. Any images of it, but there, one day, maybe I'll do a live and show everybody what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard because
Well, you and I have talked about it in person
Mhm.
there. So
Yes, but you know what? I think doing that, we can actually unlock a portal. There's a portal in there, and I think the portal is unlocked by that. Because we're dealing with elements. There's a lot of elements, and it leads us back into the order of the other one, the Oddfellows one, the Oddfellow monument, where the lady, she has the anchor, but yet when you look at her in a different angle, it looks like a sword, and that sword and that lady represents the lady of the yes, the lady. There you go.
yeah.
Yes. So the
Yeah.
story
See,
of,
now you're
of
gonna have to go do a live sometime
yeah,
because
I will
that's
have to. So remember, in the story of King Arthur, you got Merlin the Wizard, you have King Arthur, which is that little baby statue that's just off east of where the monument is. There's a little statue there. I don't know if you recall it. It's a little baby from 1800s. And basically, Merlin is looking at King Arthur as he raises King Arthur. And straight smack behind Merlin, there's an angel monument. I don't know if you ever seen it. And that angel is one of the angels from the Knights of the Round, the Round Table. And the representation of the lady of the order of the what do you call it? The Oddfellas, the one that's holding the anchor, she's the Lady of the Lakes. I don't know if you remember this, the Lady of the Lakes in the story of King Arthur. So it's all there. So the story of King Arthur is in there. And I'm believing that Excalibur, the sword, is in there as well.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
probably is. I mean, there's lots of very interesting graveyards or headstones and stuff through there.
and then if you look in that picture again in that card, see where the snakes are at on the cards. When we
Yeah, let's do it
start,
again.
when we start back again to it. Okay, so he's facing east, and when you look at that card, you see the snakes where the snakes are at. That's the snakes where the trail is. If you remember that trail that we're walking by, and you have the monument for the indigenous individuals,
Hmm.
that's that walk trail. That's the trail where it's wiggling. That's the trail where the indigenous thing burial is. So there's a lot of stuff, and then each representation of the horoscope there, with all those animals, Taurus and all of them, they're there. They're there in books. There's books there in each corner of that there. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot in there, and the only way I can show it is being there live in that place and walk step from step and show you from the middle and how everything is playing. Because I made a reference to the angel of the rounds table, and each one of those beings there has wings. You know, so it's deep. So anyhow, so I'm gonna be quiet. Well, you know what? Close to a Red Bull. I had
Because
I
I've been
had
there, Azrael and I discussed it, and we actually went on that long walk because the mausoleum before the Druid Monument and the one at the far end by the Des Plaines River have a lot of the symbols from the Wheel of Fortune card, which is what I
yes,
talked about. That one time when we did we were there for like 6 hours.
yes, yes, because yes, you got the lions there. That mausoleum that it's abandoned. They built it. It's like $1 million mausoleum, and it was abandoned. Brent, you know.
Yeah, the cemetery wasn't good enough for the family, so they moved to a more prestigious one in the city. And so, yeah, and the one in the city is not well. Yeah, Azrael, you went with me when we went looking for it, and we were like, the one that they were originally had was better.
Yes, and it was, and then I remember because we found those berries by the little bridge.
The
Uh,
pokeberries. Hmm.
yes, yes, yes,
Yep.
and
Yes,
we were
because
talking.
we were leaving gifts so that we could have them for our craft. The fun things we do. Yes. So next week we're doing the Justice card. So which is a fun card. So, but yeah, see now Azrael, you're gonna have to go to the cemetery and do a whole big live there now.
I have some time today, and I was thinking of it, but then I chose not to. Because I think the most precious thing that we all can have is a little me time. And I took a little me time today, but I utilized it by taking a nap. So I took a nap, and then I went out to work. I did a bee job after that, then I did a fruit fly job, and then I chose to do my laundry. you know,
Nice.
and I could have said, I got the whole evening to myself, but then I thought about it. You know what? We don't know what the future. What about if I get overwhelmed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? I don't have time for washing clothes, so I chose to do it. Oh, we lost Bren.
Oh, we did lose Bren. Well,
Oh, I talked too much. I think he ran away.
unless he got a phone call, because he did get a phone call earlier. So, but we don't have too many questions for today. But if there's any more questions, if not, we're going to wrap up for today. Then we will be live on Thursday. We're talking about the zodiac sign of Cancer. That is a open panel. And then Sunday's open panel is Witchy Book Club, and we will be talking about Bren's book Nyx. So we're very, very excited about that because we're going to be talking about the goddess Nyx. So if you work with her and you want to learn more, or if you don't even know anything about her, please feel free to join us. All my lives are Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I have been randomly, occasionally going live when I go visit my neighbors. Yes, I'm in a small town and I have bison as neighbors, moose as neighbors, deers as neighbors. So sometimes you may, if you see I'm randomly going live, I ran into some of my neighbors. So, and
I caught a glimpse or two of them. I just don't think that you've seen us. But it reminds me of oh, daughter, these are the people in the neighborhood, in the neighborhood, in the neighborhood. You know, and then you can say, this is the bison in my neighborhood.
yeah, 'cause, like Saturday, I was gone for 5 hours. My husband's like, what were you doing? I'm like, well, for a while I was following a deer. And then I'm like, and then I just sat and watched the bison. And he's like, well, as long as you're happy. And then we laughed. My mother-in-law, because I had posted, like, went to visit the neighbors in a picture of one of the bison. And she's like, you guys live in the middle of nowhere. Can you include an animal as a neighbor? So,
You know, I guess you could because, you know, all the animals have personality. You know, they have traits, they're unique. Each one is unique in his own way. You know, I have her, you know, my new one, but I still miss my other one because my other one was more affectionate and more, you know, in order. You know, very very disciplined. This she's spiteful, and I know she has an attitude. You know, and she's very spiteful, but she is a good girl. But she's like a feline where she's only going to want affection when she wants it. In the meantime, you know, feed me or you stay away from me. You know, but yeah. So bison, you know, you can have a group of bisons, and I'm pretty sure each one is unique by their own. You know, that's why you know yeah. You know, that's why individuals they name them. They give them specific names. They learn not only by their identification of the exterior, but also their personalities. So yes, I agree. You know, I can only imagine having like 5 goats, you know, and having a yard and let them go rampart, and you'll know which one is the one that's eating up everything because the personalities.
yeah. Yeah. There's a deer that keeps coming in our apartment complex parking lot. And she's got just a cute personality. She's just this doe, but like, yeah, she hears people pull in with their cars and she jumps up from the river to check us out. So it's really funny. Like it's just really neat to see, you know, I mean, when you're in a small town and we all live in nature together, it's really neat to see the animals' personalities come out. And that's one reason I love to sit and watch the bison, because I figured out the alpha female, I figured out the alpha male, and it's really interesting to see how they interact with each other, especially the adolescent bison, because the adolescents are just trying to figure out how they fit in the herd, you know? So it is kind of funny. Like one got too close to the alpha male and he was like, no. You're a little one. You don't get to come near me, you know? I mean, so it's really fun to see the personalities come out. So yes, randomly, I will randomly go live every once in a while, especially if they're doing something fun. So, and definitely when I'm like, I know there's moose on the trail. I have not seen them yet. So, when I do, I will definitely, try to get my camera out of my pocket if it's not in my hand and go like, well, my phone, because I've missed a couple deer that way, because I'll like watch the deer and then I'll be like, oh, I should have pulled my phone out. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna wrap up for the night. So we will be live on Thursday. Again, it's spiritual panel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be open panel, and we're talking about the zodiac sign of Cancer. So, Azrael, any last words of wisdom or any special goodbye?
Well, you know, just enjoy life. It's grand. Don't put too much expectation on what you want to happen. Allow it to happen by being present. You know, and this very moment when we feel positive, when we can feel that it's near us, is when it happens, because that's the magic. The power of the magic is actually putting in the intention. And the intention, you don't put it into the future, you put it into the now. Right now, right here, right now, and that's it. Just stay positive, love yourself, and at one point or another, our life is just like this Wheel of Fortune. I wasn't here to really chime in, but the Wheel of Fortune does represent both the good and the bad. Meaning good luck and bad luck. But guess what? When you receive that bad luck and you see that bad luck, appreciate it and just remind yourself of the good times, because that's how we can distinguish what is good for us and what is not good for us. And there's moments that are difficult for us, but yet, what? We can overcome those difficult moments with hope, with faith, and realizing, what? I know what good luck is, and that's what I'm aiming for. So right here, right now, the intention is to bring that good positivity, that stuff that resonates with you. So stay positive, stay present, and just be open to receive. Abundance is everywhere. Claim it. Claim it.
Yes, yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for joining, Azriel and Bren. Thank you so much. I know you had to go for some reason, but we miss you. Thank you, everybody, for all of the hearts, and thank you for the gifts. Always appreciated, never expected. And we will see everybody Thursday. As always, merry meet, merry part, bright blessings, and namaste.